Any questions, any doubts, guys? No questions? So how many of you installed this Oracle VirtualBox? Please raise your hands. How many of you installed Oracle VirtualBox, guys? I hope you can hear me. Shailendra, Muttu. So, and one more thing is, please install Outlook in your laptop, okay? And please install Teams also in your laptop, so that, okay, you have to practice how to send an email in the Outlook. Of course, some of you already know how to send an email in the Outlook, but still, if you don't know how to use Outlook, how to create an invitation in the Outlook, how to add Teams meeting link in the Outlook email, how to share a screen in the Teams meeting, these things are very important. Initially, while giving KT sessions, your manager or your team lead or your colleague will ask you to set up an invitation. So you should be in a position to set up an invitation. Again, you cannot search it in the Google and all, how to set up invitation and all, you cannot search it, okay? So it's very difficult, guys. So install Outlook and install Teams also, so that you can learn these things, how to send an email, how to create an invitation, how to include Teams links in the invitation and all. Okay, you should be proficient with these things. Very simple. Okay, if you don't know, Google it. Okay, how to share the screen. While sharing the screen, what kind of precautions you have to take. Generally, while sharing the screen, guys, make sure people will do like this. Okay, if they don't know how to share the screen, of course you can search it in the Google. They will simply search it in the Google. What they will do, Google how to share screen in Teams, how to share screen in Teams. Okay, he will get a result. Okay, now he will open it, and he will just open this thing in the browser. Okay, so what happened is, okay, guys, is my audio clear? Any issue with my audio?
Yeah.
It's
Yes,
clear,
sir.
right? Okay,
Clear.
done. So the thing is, Dhananjay, just check your internet connection once. Okay, so the thing is, once, if they don't know, they will check in the Google. Okay, they will open this and immediately they will start sharing the screen. Once you started sharing the screen, your manager can see this. What until you're searching, he can see that one. Definitely in the next minute itself, he can came to know that you don't know how to share the screen in the Teams. This is very important, guys. Lot of people lost their jobs because of these silly things and very small things. Very small thing this is. Okay, so if you don't know how to share the screen in the Teams, or if you don't know how to send an invitation in the Outlook, if you search it, no issues, you can search it, but you will forget that you are searching this one, and you will directly share the screen with your manager or team lead. Then he will came to know that you don't know how to use Outlook, you don't know how to use Teams. Then definitely he will start shadowing you. Every point he will ask. Once he is not only going to shadow you, guys, he will ask his teammates to shadow you. So whoever there in the shift, they all will keep an eye on you for the first 3 months. Definitely they can catch you at any moment. So once they catch, guys, definitely, then the next minute they are going to terminate. Again, they will take one more interview, then they will immediately terminate. Okay, they don't tell you that they are going to take the interview. Suddenly one day manager will call, just a casual call. He will tell, he will do a Teams call, and he will start asking the questions technically. That's it. So it's very important, while sharing the screen, close the browser if possible. Completely close the browser. This is the basic thumb rule, guys. If anyone asked you to share the screen, if you are searching something, okay, it's always better to close the browser before sharing the screen. This is very, 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 very important. Some of the, like, outside students, of course, for my batch, I'll tell to everyone, don't do this, but other batch students, they will come back to me, sir, I lost the job because of these reasons and all. So that's why this is very important. Okay, please install Outlook and Teams. Try to work with those things and all. It's very easy, not a difficult thing. Those tools are not part of the Sql Server. Those tools are part of your work, guys. So try to work with those tools, Outlook, Teams and all. Okay, fine. Any questions, any doubts? Okay, so I'm going to start the virtual machine now, and I'll connect to the server remotely. Then I'll start installing SQL Server, guys. So today I'll install the SQL Server. Okay, and then I'm going to install SSMS also, Management Studio also. Sorry for that. This is batch 45, right? This is powered off. How to start this VM, guys? How to start this VM?
Right click.
Right click.
Um,
Right click. What we have to
Sir,
do?
you just select and there is an option start.
Oh, okay. That's fine. Any other shortcut?
MSc.
MSc? BSc? Hmm? There is a small shortcut, guys. There is a small shortcut.
Click on
Control delete.
Control. Oh my god. I'll die today itself. Usually I use it to die at the end of the batch, those who don't answer for the
No.
basic questions. But today itself I am going to die definitely with your answers. I am going to start this VM. Very simple question. How can I start this VM? Shravani? Manasa? How to start this VM? Yes, you can select this option and you can click on this start button. Okay, that's okay. Yes, we can do that, but I never did in that way. Okay, there is a shortcut for this.
Hyper-V.
Hyper-V. What Hyper-V will do in the Oracle VirtualBox? Very beautiful answers. Come on, come on. No problem, guys. I'm just kidding. Okay, don't mind. Don't like it. It shouldn't be a serious class. It should be somewhat okay, an interactive session. No problem. You can tell your answers. No issues. I'll wait for the answers, guys. Okay. So how to start this VM? We have 17, almost 16 participants. I'm really shocked, guys. The answers I'm getting really shocked. Like someone is saying control delete. Someone is saying okay, Hyper-V.
Operating system.
Operating system. Tell me operating system. What we have to. If you say hey operating system, then the machine will start.
No.
Then this is what the dedication, guys. This is what the dedication. If I ask you how much salary you want, not you guys. I'm just saying generally. People will ask, sir, I need 10 lakhs, 12 lakhs package. Okay, you can definitely you can ask 10 12 lakhs package, but how much efforts you are putting for getting 10 12 lakhs package? I didn't start the machine like that. I used one shortcut. Okay, fine. Yes, if anyone can try, you can try, guys. How to start this VM? How to start this VM? Oh my god.
Start arrow mark.
Sorry? Okay. Start arrow mark is there. That's there. But we haven't started this VM like that. By clicking on the start. Yes, we can do that. Start arrow mark.
Sir, double click.
Who is that? Who is that? Who said double click? Who said double click? Please.
Sir. Yes, sir.
Shailendra.
Yeah.
Shailendra. Shailendra.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
What do we have to do? Tell me now. Shailendra. Shailendra. Shailendra, what I'm going to do, I'm going to give you 5 points.
Run as administrator, sir. Surely.
Shailendra, I'm going to give you 5 points.
Hello. Run as administrator is.
Yes, we did that one. We just run as administrator will help you to open the Oracle VirtualBox Manager. Okay. The correct answer is double click on this VM. Okay. Double click on the VM so that you can start the VM. That's why I gave 5 points to Shailendra. Okay, I thought this is an extraordinary efforts by Shailendra. Extraordinary answer. Why? Because no one answered, right? So that's why I gave 5 points to Shailendra. So guys, it's very important. Again, I'm saying from day one onwards, you have to start practicing the things. Again, I'm saying it's very, very important. If you don't practice it, no one can save you. Even I also can't save you guys. There are other trainers. Okay, they don't concentrate on the subject. How many people will come? They will join all the people, and they will, okay, simply they will help you to get the job. After that, they are going to leave you. Why? Because they are going to get their money. Okay, then simply don't bother. They don't bother about your career, your job. Simply go and take the support from some other guy. Guys, now those days are gone. You have to go to the office and you have to do your work in front of your colleagues. So don't expect that kind of thing. So you have to work from the day one onwards. Okay, clear? Right, just double click on the machine to start the machine, guys. So VM will be started now. So once it is started, what you have to do, the first thing you have to do is you have to check the IP address. Why we have to check the IP address? Why we have to check the IP address? Why? Because generally, as we are connected to our home internet, okay, so as we are connected to our home internet, so there might be a chance that your IP address will be changed sometimes. Okay, so it's very important. Every time you have to log into the server, you have to check the
Connect the
IP
charger,
address.
sir.
Yes, sorry.
Connect the charger, sir.
Yeah, I'll do that. No problem, no problem. It's all right.
Relative.
Yeah, no problem. I'll do that. Okay. So every time here, what in our practice, in our laptop, every time we'll turn on the VM and we are going to check the IP address. Then by using that IP address, we are going to connect to the servers remotely. Okay. But in the organization, sir, who will turn on? Sir, how to log into the machine directly? Okay. The machine's IP address will never change in the organization. So in the ticket itself, they are going to provide you either server name or IP address of the machine. Okay, if any machine is causing problems, or if you want to install something in any machine, they will mention the IP address in the ticket. Okay, using that IP address, you can connect to the server. But in our practice, regularly we have to check the IP address. Now one more question: how to check the IP address now? I need step by step. I need the answer like step by step.
So IP config
IP
in
config. Now where I have to run that IP config?
CMD command.
Where with CMD command? Okay. So right click, run CMD, right?
Yes,
IP config. Lot of IP address I got. Which IP address I have to take?
IPv4.
IPv4. This is also IPv4. This is also IPv4. This is also IPv4. Which IPv4 I have to use?
Yeah, there are some multiple.
Right? Which IP address I have to use, guys? Anyone is going to help me out?
Sure.
Sorry?
Local IP address.
Local IP? Where is that local IP address? Local IPv4. All are local IPv4, right? Anyone is going to help me out? Guys, do you know how much efforts I am putting for you? Do you know how much efforts I am putting for you people? It's not for money, for you people. As you will face trouble once the session is done, even though I am working on Saturdays and Sundays, I'll take some time to convert the videos. I'll immediately upload the sessions into the YouTube so that you don't want to miss anything. Means the whole day I'll work for you only, guys, even though it's weekends. I don't know how many of you go and check that YouTube channel. Already yesterday's night, today's morning session was already uploaded to the batch 45 session, batch 45 playlist. Why? Because okay, these people will miss something. These people are going to refer the videos again if you have any doubts and all. Okay, that's fine. Okay, so it depends, guys. If you are like if you are dedicated, if you if you are answering the questions properly, I'll get more energy, guys. I'll try to include lot of other points and all. I'll put extra efforts to give you much more subject. If you are not answering, if you are not doing homework, even okay, this is enough for these guys. Anyhow, these guys are not practicing, right? Why I have to put efforts? Huh? So don't push me in that side, guys. Definitely I'm going to help you out, but if you are not practicing, I cannot help you out. Just logged into the server. We have to get the server IP address, not our local laptop IP address. This is our local laptop IP address. No, we don't check the IP address like this. Logged into the machine first by using Control Delete button. Okay, there you have to open run. There you have to check the IP config. Server IP config you have to check, not your local laptop. Why? Because we are connecting to the server, right? We are connecting to the server. If I want to call you, I have to call with your name or with your student number or student ID. You are asking me to call you, you are asking me to call with my name. How can I call you with my name? This is me, my machine, local machine. This is the server. I want to connect to this server remotely. So I have to use this server IP address, right? Why I am going to use my local laptop IP address? Right? And people, some other people are there. What they are going to do, I'll tell you what they are going to do. Okay, now go to the server. This is the server IP address. This is the server start button. Open run here, type CMD here. Now you have to type IP config here. See here, now you don't see that many IP addresses. You can see only one IP address, right? You can see only one IP address, 192.168.1.12. Now what I have to do, tell me. Now I got the IP address. Now what I have to do to connect to this server remotely. I'm sorry for that. Okay, that's fine. Now come to your local laptop. Here you have to type your remote. Okay, just type remote or MSTSC, anything is fine. Some people, what they are going to do, they will log into the machine, they will find the IP address, they will connect to the server. They will connect to the servers from the server itself. They will connect to the server from the server itself. Guys, is it going to work like that? No, right? You have to connect to the server from your local laptop. So where you have to type MSTSC in your local laptop, you have to type MSTSC. It's not confusing, guys. It's very simple thing. If you practice, if you don't practice, definitely it is going to confuse. From your local laptop, you have to connect to the server remotely. So you have to check the IP address of the server and you have to open the remote desktop of your local laptop. Okay, once you open, you will get the screen like this. Now the IP address is 192.168.1.12. Just hit, you can click on the connect button. Now you will get this kind of credential screen. Make sure the username is administrator. Sometimes you can see your username, so go to more choices, use other user, then you have to give the password. Okay, right? So once you give the password, you will get yes or no screen. Just click connect, you click on yes, then you can connect to the server remotely like this, guys. Fine, now we just connected to the server remotely. So now I am going to install SQL Server, guys. As for SQL Server, .NET framework is mandatory, so we have installed .NET framework in the machine, right? Now we can straight away install the SQL Server. Generally what we are going to do, guys, in the organization we are going to copy the SQL Server software. There are some shared paths. DBA team will use a shared path. From that shared path, we'll open the shared path in the server itself. Okay, you have to check the shared path with your colleagues. Your colleagues will let you know what and all shared paths are accessible from the servers. 1 or 2 shared paths will be there for DBA team. They will open the shared path from the particular server // okay, they are going to mention the shared path IP address is like 10.2.56.89, just for the example. SQL softwares, okay, SQL Server 2017, like this shared folders will be there. You have to copy that path to the particular, you have to get this path. This is for example I'm saying, you have to, this kind of path will be there, either server name or IP address here. Okay, so you have to get that path from your colleagues. They will give you the path. You have to open that path in the server. From there you can copy the SQL Server software. We are not going to do in that way. What we are going to do is we are going to attach the SQL Server, guys. SQL Server ISO image we are going to attach. How to attach ISO image? Go to the Oracle VirtualBox Manager, go to the settings page, go to the storage page, select this. Earlier it was Windows operating system, right? Select on the same Windows operating system file, click on this. For me, as I am regularly using, I can see this 2017. For you don't see this software, just click on this choose virtual optical disk file. So if you have SQL Server 2017, I'm going to share you the softwares, right? Keep it in a separate folder, navigate to that particular path and then select the SQL 2017. I'm going to show you how to install SQL 2017, guys. Double click on it. Now Windows was gone, SQL Server was replaced. Okay, and click OK. And now in the D drive, go to the server. Sorry, this is the direct server, right? Go to the server. Now open my computer. Okay, in the D drive, earlier OS file is there earlier. Now the OS file is replaced with a SQL Server software. Now you can go to the server directly. You can open the D drive. There you can see the SQL software and you can start installing the SQL Server, guys. Now you can see here SQL setup. You can see, right? Earlier Windows Server operating system is there. Now you can see the SQL setup. Open this. Now you can see setup file. This is an application file, guys. I told you, please mute it. Please mute, guys. If you don't have any questions, can you please be muted? Okay, so you can see the setup file. This is an application file. So how to open this application file, guys? If it is an application file, how we can open this application file?
Run as administrator.
Run as administrator. Okay, right click on the application, run as administrator. Right now you are going to get the SQL Server setup installation center. From the installation center itself, you are going to install the SQL Server, guys. From the installation center itself, you are going to install SQL Server. This is called SQL Server Installation Center. Okay, this is your SQL Server Installation Center. I told you, right, there will be a document. You can use the documents. If you want exact hardware and software components, you can see here hardware and software requirements. 1 minute, guys. Right, okay, here you can see, if you want to see what are the exact software hardware requirements I want to see, so then click on this link, hardware software requirements. But we don't need this hardware software. Why? Because you know, like minimum hardware requirements and minimum software requirements. So we are going to get the machine with the maximum hardware and software requirements, so nothing to worry. Okay, you can proceed for the installation. Okay, so as I'm opening this what is that Microsoft Internet Explorer, so I'm getting lot of okay pop-ups like this. Let me close it. We don't need it. Okay, I'm going to close this one. Right, you can see here. Okay, these are the hardware requirements. Hard disk. Okay, these are the hardware requirements. You can see here recommended express edition 1 GB, all other editions 1 GB, express edition 512 MB. Memory, guys. Okay, the processor should be 2 gigahertz or faster one. Let me mute you all. I don't know why you people are unmuted. Let me mute you all. Okay, Shailendra, no issues. You can, if you have any issues, like no problem. Let me done. Okay, if you have any questions, you can unmute and you can ask the questions. Immediately you have to mute it, guys. Okay, otherwise it will be recorded. Okay, done. So like this, you can see the hardware and software requirements, and you can see here Windows 8.1, Windows Server 2012 R2 required before installing .NET Framework 4.6. It was already there, guys. So you can see these are the requirements. Okay, if you want, you can go through this document, guys. Right. Right, so these are the different documents. Okay, we don't need this one. Go to installation page. These are called pages, guys. Planning page, installation page, maintenance page, tools page, resources page, and like this different pages. Okay, so I'm going to install standalone instance, guys. There are two different types of instances. One is standalone instance and cluster instance. What is this cluster instance and all? I'll tell you. You can see here from this option we can install cluster instance. So cluster is a HADR concept. So during the discussion of HADR, I am going to explain what is this cluster. So generally, if you want only standalone, they will mention the build sheet whether they need a standalone or okay a cluster instance. You can install it. If they don't mention anything about the cluster, that means that is generally a standalone instance. So we'll install standalone instance. Click on this button, standalone installation. Okay, so once you just open this, another window will open so that you can complete the process in that particular window. Guys, sometimes you will get like this if your internet and all having any issues generally, or if any packets are dropping. Okay, generally you will get like this, and immediately it will be connected within 3 or 4 attempts. Right, now you can see in the back end, you can see, right, you will get this kind of screen, and from here you can start installing. This is a developer edition software, guys. So specify a free edition, which is developer edition. If you want to install a standard or enterprise edition, you have to choose this option. Keys will be there. Generally you have to check with your colleagues or team lead or manager. You can get that key and you can proceed for the installation for standard edition or enterprise edition, guys. If you want to install any free edition, just select this option. I'm going to install developer edition, right? Go to next. Remaining processes are same. See, there is no difference between standard, enterprise, developer edition while installing the SQL Server. Okay, while installing the SQL Server, you don't find any differences. Process is same for enterprise, standard, and particular developer edition, guys. There is no single difference also. Okay, but we have to choose one edition, right, while installing. So that's why we just selected developer edition. I accept the license terms. For any software, you have to choose this option. Okay, next, you have to accept the terms and conditions, right? So you can see here, let me go back. You can see here, generally, okay, before installing the SQL Server, see here, these are the common checks, guys. It will check whether this system is suitable for installing SQL Server or not. Best practice is, before installing SQL Server, please restart your whole Windows server. How to restart the machine, guys? Click on the Windows button. You can see power button, you can see restart button, you can restart it. While restarting, it will ask planned or unplanned. You can choose maintenance, application maintenance, planned. Anything you can choose, all should be a planned activities. Okay, then like this you are going to restart the server. Not, you can see here restart computer, right? If this check is failed, generally we have 9 checks, right? All the checks should be passed, or warning is also fine, or can be skipped. But even one check out of this 9 checks, if one check is failed, you cannot proceed for installation. All the checks should be, it should be passed, guys. If not passed, at least warning is fine. It will allow for warning. Okay, or skipped is also fine. But if any check is failed, even one check is failed, the next button will be grayed out. You have to fix the check first. For example, restart computer check is failed. What you are going to do? How to troubleshoot that issue? Restart computer check is failed, guys. How you are going to troubleshoot it? Sorry?
Error log.
Why you will go for error log? I want to fix this issue. Restart. You know the reason. Restart.
Again, restart you have to restart the computer again.
That's it. It's not a big solution, guys. Restart computer, it needs restart. Why? Because sometimes Windows team will install different softwares, or they will do some settings. Okay, configuration settings and all, configuration level settings and all they will do. So they will forget to restart, or simply they will schedule a restart during the weekends. So in the meantime, if you are trying to install the SQL Server, definitely restart computer check will be failed. What you have to do, simply cancel the setup. You are going to restart the Windows Server. You will come back again. You are going to install the SQL Server. If the .NET Framework check is failed, how you are going to fix it? .NET Framework check is failed.
You have to install the .NET Framework
Correct,
again.
that's it. You have to install the .NET Framework, that's it. And again you have to start. You can minimize this one, only restart computer, you have to restart it. For other checks, you can minimize this window. If any check is failed, you can minimize this. Say .NET Framework is failed, for example. You can minimize it. You can start installing .NET Framework from this server manager, and then you can rerun the checks. Then the checks will be rerun again. Okay, fine, guys. This is how we are going to check it. All should be passed, or all should be warning, or all can be skipped, guys. But even one check is failed, it won't allow you to proceed for the installation. Next, this is for Microsoft updates, guys. Generally we don't select this option. Why? Because in the organization servers, they don't have any internet connection, guys. Why? Because of the security, organization servers won't expose it to the internet. Okay, so the servers are going to be connected internally, that is intranet. So internet won't work for the servers, guys. Okay, for the servers you don't see any internet, so we don't need to select this option. You can keep it, you can simply go to next, guys. It's not mandatory. Right, now it is going to install some setup files, guys. It will install some setup files, then you can proceed for the SQL Server installation. Right, see here, warning. So warning is fine for us. Passed 3, failed 0, warning 1, skipped 0. Okay, you can proceed, no issues. Next. Right, now this is very important screen, guys. I told you, right, components are features of the SQL Server. In the last class we discussed about the features of SQL servers. There are two different features, guys. One is specific features, second one is shared features. Specific features, okay, shared features, guys. Just a minute. Right, okay. So right, these are the specific features, guys. These features are specific features, and you can see here these features are shared features. And you can go down, there are some more features are there, those are all shared features. You can see here shared features. If you see shared features, okay, these are shared features. Whatever features you can see below to the shared features are all are shared features. And instance features means specific features, guys. So it's very important, you should know the difference between a shared feature and a specific feature. See, guys, you are staying in a PG, right? You are staying in a PG. Of course, some of you have experience like staying in PG or rooms and all, right? Most of us are going to stay, or in the past we have stayed in the rooms or PGs, right? So generally, if you go to the PG or hostel, okay, there you can see some shared components, specific components in the PG. What are the shared components in the PG, guys? Can you tell me? Just guess it. What can be a shared components in the PG or hostel?
Yes,
Yes.
bed,
Library is there. Library shared path.
No, any in which PG you can find library, man?
Rooms.
Rooms, of course. Apart from rooms.
Okay. Maybe library is sharing by each and everyone.
Applications, home applications are shared.
That's
Washing
okay.
machine.
No, I'm just asking the PZ. There is a PZ. Okay, in the
Okay.
PZ, what components can be shared? What components can be a specific components? Just at least tell me what components can be a shared components in a PZ.
Dining
Dining
hall
hall,
and
very good.
Wi-Fi,
Wi-Fi, very good. TV,
mineral water like that.
TV, washing machine,
washing
other
machine,
appliances.
appliances,
Fridge.
water filter, water purifier.
Fridge.
Correct. These are all shared features.
Yes.
So if any new guy comes into the PG, again they don't set up one more TV, one more washing machine, right? You have to utilize the existing shared features. That components are shared. Agree?
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So
Yes.
we'll install the shared components only once. We'll install the shared components only once. All other instances, they have to share the existing shared features. We don't install shared features multiple times. The PG owner, the hostel owner, he's not going to, okay, buy extra TV, extra washing machine for each person in the PG. Already for each floor, okay, for each room, one TV will be there. All the people in that room, they have to use that TV. All the people in that floor, they have to use the existing washing machine. Right? These are the shared features, guys. Only exist once for the whole Windows server. Once you install the shared features, next time while installing one more SQL server, no need to install shared features. Why? Because these are shared features. These shared features can be utilized by multiple instances. Okay, guys, now I am installing only one SQL server, right? So I told you, right, database SQL server components. Database engine is the main component. Database engine is the head of the SQL server or brain, whatnot, everything. Database engine is going to help you to store the data, to process the data, to retrieve the data. Without database engine, there is no SQL server, guys. You should select database engine. This is SQL server replication is one feature. We'll discuss about this SQL server replication feature later. If the customer is looking for extra components like R, Python and all, he is going to mention in the ticket or in the build sheet. Based on his requirements, you can select these features. Apart from this, you have to choose full texts. This is going to help you out for the searching, to search your data. Okay, we are going to use this feature. So for every instance, these three components are common, guys. For every instance, these three components are common, and these three components are specific features. If that particular customer is looking for extra features like data quality services, polybase features, analysis, I told you, right, analysis services. If he is asking us, hey, can you please install analysis services, you have to choose this option. If he is asking, hey, can you please install integration services, you have to choose this option. If he is asking, hey, can you please install reporting services, you can see reporting services in this list. Generally up to SQL Server 2016. From 2017 onwards, reporting services are separated. So you can use this link. Looking for reporting services, download it from the web. You have to use this link. You have to download the reporting services separately, and you can start installing the reporting services, guys. Okay, if customer is looking for analysis services, you have to select this. If he is looking for integration services, you have to select this. If you don't want, you can unselect these features. We don't want. Okay, these are the specific features, guys. Come on, let's go to the shared features. In these shared features, we have to choose client tools connectivity, client tools backward compatibility, SQL client connectivity, client tools SDK. These four features, shared features, you have to select, guys, only for the first time. Next time, okay, next time it was already installed, right? Next time you are installing one more SQL server, guys. We can install 50 instances per one Windows server. Okay, how many instances we can install, guys? For one Windows server, for one Windows machine or server, machine or server or box, all are same, guys. You can install 50 SQL servers. Each SQL server we can call it as a instance. 50 instances you can install per machine. Now this is the first instance we are installing. This is the first instance. Next time if I want to install one more instance, I'll only choose these components. I don't choose the shared features. Why? Because shared features are already installed. I told you, right, that PZ example. If another guy is coming to the PZ, again the PZ owner is not going to buy a separate TV, separate washing machine. That guy has to use the existing features. Please mute it. If you don't have questions, please mute it. Then yes,
Why
ma'am.
can't we simply select all?
No,
Or
you cannot simply select all. What is the need? Tell me.
no,
See,
like will the client give us what all he wants? Like
correct. That's what I'm saying. Client in the build sheet is going to mention, okay, what components he wants. But shared features, these are the shared features. You don't give any shared features. Shared features is our responsibility. Okay. So you are saying like, see, depends upon the PG to PG. In your PG, you might have washing machine. My PG, I might have washing machine, or the PG owner is not allowing the washing machine. He's not buying, he's not setting up any washing machine. In your PG, there is a TV for each room. In my PG, there is no TV for my room. It depends upon the requirements. You have to pay extra, right? If you need all the features, you have to pay extra or not. Tell me,
yes.
right? The
Yes.
same is, yeah, same case here also. If you want to install all, simply, sir, what is this headache, sir? I'll select all. Yes, you can select all. You have to pay extra money to the Microsoft. Without using the components, you are paying money to the Microsoft. Clear, Shravani?
Yes.
Okay, so it depends upon the requirements, and again, the user will let you know what components he want. Shared features, these are the shared features we are going to use, that client tools connectivity, client tools backward compatibility, SQL client connectivity, client tools SDK. These are fixed shared features. No need to change this. You have to remember these four. Okay, simply anything you can see client, 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 that's it. You can select those features. That is a shortcut. Okay, but shared features, he will let you know what shared features he want. If he is not telling us what shared features he want, by default we'll select these shared features: database engine, replication, full text. These are the common default shared features. If he wants analysis services, he will let us know, we'll select analysis. If you want integration, we'll select integration. If he wants reporting, we'll select reporting services, guys. That's it. Okay, so it's not good practice to install all the components. Clear? Fine. So let me go to next, guys. These are the features we have to select. Okay, fine. Now you can see here in this screen, you can see two extra terminologies: default instance, named instance. What is this default and what is this named? What is the difference between a default and named instance? Right? So actually there is no difference between default and named instance in terms of functionalities or features. Only difference is the way you are connecting, how you are connecting to the server is going to be different. Okay, in default instance we'll connect to the server in different way. Named instance we are going to connect to the servers in a different way, guys. That is the only difference. Remaining everything is as it is. All the features are there. There is no difference between default and named instance. We can install only one default instance per machine. So I told you, right, we can install 50 instances. Out of 50, 1 plus 49, 1 default instance, 49 named instances. Why we can install only one default instance? Can anyone tell me the reason? Why we have to install, why we can install only one default instance per machine? So I'll tell you, guys. Default instance, generally you have to use computer name to connect. You have to use computer name to connect, guys. Imagine in this batch, imagine I have two Ajay name. There are, like, we have a student called Ajay. So imagine two Ajays are there in this batch, two Ajays are there. Now if I call Ajay, hey Ajay, who is going to respond, guys?
Both of them.
Either sometimes both Ajays will respond, sometimes no Ajay will respond. This Ajay will think that okay, might be Sar is calling another Ajay. That Ajay will think that Sar is calling different Ajay. So the best case is both Ajays are going to respond. The worst case is no Ajay is going to be responded. Right? In the same way, computer name default instance is going to take the computer name. Okay. So what is the computer name? How to get the computer name? You can get it like this: host name. Okay, this is the computer name. So you can copy like this mark and hit enter. It will be copied automatically and you can paste it here, Control V. Right. So if you install default instance, the server name will be like this computer name, guys. So that's why I can install only one default instance. Why? Because another default instance, already the computer name is occupied with one default instance. Can I give the same computer name to another instance?
No.
Can I give the same, means can the instance names can be same? No. No, right? Why? Because it might connect, it might not connect. So that's why, as it is going to take the computer name as a SQL instance name, I cannot install one more default instance. Now I have a quick question for all of you. So for example, I just installed SQL Server 2017 default instance in this VM. Okay. Can I install SQL 2019 default instance in the same VM? The version is different, right? So can I install one more default instance of different version?
No,
Why?
because only one default is there. Remain named instance.
Named instance. Okay. So the answer is no, not possible. Why? Because see, it is 2017 or 2016 or 2019. Once it took the name of the computer, imagine if you install one more default instance for 2019. Now while connecting to the SQL server, you will give this computer name. So to which instance it will connect? 2017 instance or 2019 instance? Both names are same, right?
19.
No, first of all, that is not possible. 1917, that's different thing. First of all, it is not possible to install two different instances. Just a minute, guys. Shrikant. Yeah. Okay. So I cannot install. Just 1 minute, guys. Just a minute, please. Don't mind. Right, okay, fine. So once I installed a default instance of any version, I cannot install one more default instance of the same version or any other version, guys. Why? Because it is going to occupy the server name. It is going to take control the server name, so that you can give the server name while connecting to the instance. So that is the main reason. Okay, you cannot create two instances with the same name. That's why we cannot install one more default instance either from the same version or from the different version. Is it clear, guys, why we cannot install one more default instance? Everyone, is it clear?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so out of
Yes.
50 instances I can install 1 plus 49. This one is the default instance, 49 is the named instances, guys. You can install 49 named instances, but depends upon the requirement. Generally the organization hardly one SQL server will be there for one machine, guys. The recommended practice is generally one SQL server for one machine. Why? Because if the whole Windows machine is restarted, if you install 10 machines, okay, 10 instances, if your whole Windows server is restarted, all these 10 instances also going to be restarted, guys. That is the main challenge. So generally 1 or 2 instances will be there, hardly. Very rarely you can see 3, 4, 5 instances, guys, in the organization, but you can install up to 50 instances in the machine, guys. Okay, right, fine. Let me get back the connection. Right, fine. So let me minimize this command prompt screen. Right, so here, in case someone asked this question, I guess Shravani asked this question. Let me get back to this. Default instance is going to take the computer name, right? So for named instance, okay, if you want to install named instance, select this option, then you have to give the name of the instance. There are some naming conventions, guys. Okay, so what are the naming conventions? Instance name cannot be more than 15 characters. The instance name cannot, I'm just giving one instance name. Okay, if you see here, I'm typing, but it's not allowing me. Okay, so you can give up to 15 characters. If you are installing a named instance, the name, okay, it will allow only for up to 15 characters. And you cannot start the instance name with numbers. 1 SQL server, 2 SQL servers, you cannot use it. The instance name will be started, should be started with alphabets only. Okay, you cannot start the instance name with numbers, it will not allow. So it should be started with alphabets only. It won't accept any special characters other than dollar and underscore, other than dollar and underscore, guys. Other than these two special characters, you cannot give any other special characters in the instance name, guys. So now tell me, can I give the instance name like this? SQL Server 2017. Can I give instance name like this?
No,
Is it a valid name? Why?
because there's
But
no
it is there.
number.
Number, okay, fine, Morris, no issues. You can give the number, but it cannot start with the numbers.
There is a space between things.
Instance name cannot start with numbers. It
Space
should
might
start
be.
with characters.
Space is there.
Space.
This is the
So is space a special character?
yes,
No, yes, maybe.
yes.
Okay, yes, space is a special character. You cannot give like this. You have to delete that space. Or else, if you want to give some special characters, you can give like this, either dollar or underscore. Okay,
Underscore,
SQL underscore. You can, this is a valid name. Okay, you can give numbers in the instance name, but it should not start with numbers. Okay, guys, this is the naming convention. So someone asked, sir, if any instance is installed in that machine, how to find it? This is one way. Okay, while installing, if any instance is already installed in that machine, it will show you the instance name, instance ID, what features are installed, edition, what edition it is, what version it is, you can see in the table, guys. As of now, this is a fresh server, right? So that's why I don't see any instances in this machine. Or else we can see from services.msc. I'll show you after the installation, guys. Okay, clear? So it's not mandatory that you have to install default instance or named instance. Any instance depends upon the customer requirement. Customer will let you know whether he needs default instance. He will let us know whether he need a named instance. What should be the name? See, he is asking for a named instance. Now what should be the name, guys? You cannot give your own name, or you cannot give Katrina Kaif name, or you cannot give I love you daddy, I love you mommy. Okay, so there are some naming conventions. The customer will itself, he is going to let you know, he will mention the name of the instance in the document. That name you have to copy paste it. Okay, so you cannot give your own name, you cannot, okay, guess the name and all. So generally instance name, it is going to reflect the application names. Based on the application, they are going to give one name. That name you have to copy paste here. That will be decided by your particular customer or your client. Okay, let me choose default instance. Okay, let me go to next. Can anyone tell me what is the next screen? Don't tell this error. What could be the next screen during the installation? Okay, so you can see the next screen. You can see here, guys, what are the next screens and all, next pages and all. Which one is highlighted? That is current screen. Next page is database engine configuration, features configuration, like that. Okay, right. Service accounts, guys, very important. Service accounts, it's not difficult to understand, guys, very easy. Just listen carefully. Service account is an account which helps you to run the service. Service account is an account which helps you to run the service. Service account is an account which helps you to run the service, guys. Fine. So how this service account is useful for us? I told you, right, what is the SQL Server? SQL Server is an RDBMS software which will help you to store the data, to process the data, to
retrieve the data.
To retrieve the data, guys. So storing means what? Can anyone tell me what is meant by storing? What is meant by storing, guys? How you can store the data?
Backup, restore.
No. That is not storing. That's okay. That also you can do, but that's not exactly storing. Storing means you have to write the data to the disk, right? Right. Store means how you can store the data. You can store the data in the disk. You can store the data in the disk. How you are going to store it? By writing the data to the disk, right?
Yes.
Retrieving means what? What is meant by retrieving? Reading the data? Can I say retrieving means reading the data?
Yes.
Correct.
Yeah.
So read operations means what? Writing and reading. So you have to write the data, you should have enough permissions. To write the data, you should have enough permissions. Again, to read the data, you should have enough permissions. So who is going to write the data, read the data, guys, on behalf of you? Who is going to write the data? Who is going to read the data? Who will do that?
To whom we will give the permission.
The person is going to initiate the process, but that person cannot cannot see. I gave you access to you, guys. You means who said that answer just now? Who said that answer just now? Someone said the answer, right?
Vishwa.
Sorry.
Vishwa.
Vishwa. Okay, Vishwa. So I can give you write access to you. That doesn't mean you can jump inside the server and you can write the data to the disk, right? Is it possible?
No.
No. I gave you read access to you. That doesn't mean you can jump inside the server and you have to pull the disk and you can read the data. No, right? On behalf of you, someone has to do the things, right? Correct?
Yes.
Who will do that?
Admin?
Your service account will do that. Your service account will do that. I'll give you a simple example. Antivirus software, Avesta, Quick Heal, lot of antivirus softwares are there. What is the functionality of the antivirus softwares, guys? They have to scan the files, each file in the system, they have to scan it. If they found any vulnerabilities, if they found any suspicious files extensions, they will mark it as a virus file. How it is going to mark it as a virus file? Already that Avesta will have a database. In that database, it will have some virus file extensions. So that Avesta antivirus software will compare each file with the extension of the Avesta database. Okay, .mp4. It will compare whether .mp4 is a virus file or what in that particular database, Avesta database. So .mp4 is a well-known file format, right, for videos. Okay, .mp4 is not a virus file. .tfx, .xlsx, xlsx for Excel. So like that, .doc, .exe. So it is going to check each and every file format with the existing database. If it found any file with a different extension, and if that extension is existed in that particular database, then it will mark it as a virus file. So first your antivirus will scan the whole server. Server means what? It will scan the drives, all the drives, C drive, D drive, E drive, F drive, whatever drives are there. Drives means what? Inside the drives we will have folders. Inside the folders we will have files. It will scan all the files. If it found any antivirus software, if it found any virus file, it will mark it as a virus. Later, finally, it will ask you, hey, I found 120 files or 10 files as a virus files. Do you want me to delete these files? You will click yes or no. If you click yes, what it is going to do? It is going to delete the files. Agree? Deleting the files means what? Which operation? Deleting the files is which operation? It's a write operation. Okay, writing, deleting, altering, these are all write operations. So who will do on behalf of you guys? If I give permissions to Vishwa cannot delete it. On behalf of Vishwa, one person is going to delete. That person is called service account. Is it clear, guys? What is service account? Is it clear?
Yes.
Any questions, any doubts? Any questions, guys? Papa. Any questions on service account? Okay. So service account simply, it's a maid, guys. It's a maid. Service account is a assistant. You can say it's an assistant for us. It's a helper for us. Right? So for
Anyway,
all,
can I
yes, please.
I want to ask. Okay.
Yes. Any questions?
When you say retrieve data, does it mean that the data was lost and it has to be retrieved?
No. See, retrieve means don't think in that way. See, for example, now your manager asked you, hey Morris, I want all the employees, those who are drawing the salary more than 80K. What you are going to do? Or in a shopping mall, for example, Walmart is there. So now you go to the Walmart and you are going to buy some products. Now the Walmart employee, their manager asked Walmart employee, hey, I need all the products of Morris. Okay, the products cost should be more than $100. I need all the products that are more than $100 from Morris basket. That is called retrieving. Retrieving means something went wrong, so that you have to retrieve. Not like that. Retrieving means simply reading the existing data. That's it.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah. Any other questions? Okay, so who is going to do all these things, guys? Writing the data to the disk, reading the data from the disk, processing the data. Who will do all these things? Your service account will do all these things, guys. So service account is very important. Don't think service account will be there only for SQL Server. For other softwares also service account will be there. Where I can see the service accounts, guys, go to services.msc. Just type services.msc in the run command. You can see this window. Any software will run as a service, guys. If you install SQL Server, the SQL Server service will run on behalf of SQL Server. If you install Avesta antivirus, one service will run on behalf of this Avesta antivirus software. Okay, if you see here log on as, click on this log on as, you can see here, you can see local service, local system and network service, right? Local service, some of them are with local service, up to here local service, here, yes, up to here local service, and then local system, and then network service. Means in this Windows machine, total 3 service accounts are there. These are the built-in service accounts, guys. While installing, it don't ask you, hey, please select service account. Why? Because Windows by itself will choose one service accounts, depends upon the software priority. If it is an important service like SQL Server or antivirus, it will use local system. Local system is the highest privileged service account. If it is some level 2 services and all, not so important services, it will use either local service or network service. So total how many assistants are there in this machine? Default assistants, how many, guys? Total 3 assistants are there: local service, local system and network service, right? Local service, local system and network service, guys. These are the 3 assistants. So any software will take help of these 3 assistants, guys, right? So if I don't select a specific service account, see here, guys, there are 2 types of service accounts. One is default service accounts, second one is a customized service account. Don't confuse. Only this is the one component that might confuse you, but nothing to worry, I'm going to explain. Okay, service accounts, 2 types of service accounts. One is default service account. Under default service account, you can see local service, local system and network service. These are the 3 assistants. These 3 assistants will help for the other softwares, guys. There is one more type of service account, that is customized service account. Customized service account. So what is this service account, guys? See here, there are a lot of services are there, but how many workers are there? How many assistants are there? Only 3 assistants, right? So you know how difficult it is. Managing these many services with just 3 assistants is very difficult, right? Imagine you are staying in a room, right? So for you, one separate maid is there, one worker, one maid is there for you. That's okay, you are the only one. That maid is coming daily and she is cleaning the things, cleaning the utensils, she is cleaning the home, she is washing your clothes and she is going. For that she is taking 30 minutes every day. Now one more person joined into the room, guys. Now 2 people are there, but there is only one maid. How much time it will take now for her to complete the same things? Earlier she took only 30 minutes for one person. Now 2 people are there. How much time she is going to take for completing all the things? Might be 45 minutes, right? 2 people are there, the utensils will increase, the clothes will increase, right? She might take 45 minutes. Now 3 people joined in the same room, but the maid is only one maid is there. Now how much time it will take, guys, to clean these things and all, to wash the clothes? How much time it will take? I'm just asking for example. I'm not asking exactly how much time. So it should be 1 hour, right? So if people are increasing, the work will increase. So the time to complete the work will also increase. In the same way, if I am going to install SQL Server with the same service accounts, already these three assistants are busy with other softwares. So if I am going to use the same service account, definitely my work will be delay, right? I might face performance issues while reading and writing the data. Agree, guys? Is it clear?
Yes.
Right? So that's why I can use default service accounts, no issues, but I don't prefer to use default service accounts. I will use my own service accounts, that is called customized service accounts. Means for each person there is a separate assistant. That is called, your assistant is called a service account, guys. Okay, so there are two different types of service accounts. One is default, that will come along with your Windows server, or you can utilize customized. No, I don't want this default. These default service accounts are already busy with other services, so it might delay my data processing, data reading, writing and all. I'm going to recruit a special assistant for me, so that he is dedicated to me. He is going to read only SQL Server related data. He is going to write only SQL Server related data, so that my things will be somewhat fast, so that the data processing and all will be done quickly, and I don't face any performance related issues in terms of reading and writing the data. That is called customized service account, guys. I can use either default service accounts, I can use customized service accounts. Okay, so here in this screen, these are the customized service accounts that will be created automatically during the SQL Server installation, guys. If you don't want these accounts, you can still create a separate account. In the next session, I am going to show you how to create a service account and all. Then after installation of service account, we can change the service accounts, guys. Even though not only during the installation, after installation of service account, after installation of SQL Server also, I can change the service account. So that is a task, you should know how to do the task. So next class I am going to show you how to create a service account and how to change the service account for the existing instance, guys. Clear? Any issues, any doubts about the service accounts, guys? Now I am going to install with this service account. These are the virtual service accounts. By using these service accounts, I am going to install the SQL Server. Let me know. I am going to explain you again if you have any issues in this screen. Service account is an assistant, guys. So this service account will read the data, write the data, process the data on behalf of the users. That's why I'm going to use a separate service accounts. Is it clear or not? Any issues, any doubts? Right, okay, that's fine. So the startup type should be automatic, guys. Let me select automatic startup type. Why? Because startup type, generally if it is a manual, if your server is rebooted, okay, the service agent, what are the services that are there in the manual, you have to start the service again manually. You have to start the services manually. So that's why if you if you select this as an automatic, when you restart your Windows server, automatically services will be started, guys. No need to start it manually. Okay, as of now we are using the default service accounts, right? So you don't ask any password, no need to give any password. If you are using a customized service accounts, I'll show you in the next class, next session, then you have to provide the password here. Now the next screen is collation settings, guys. So collation means simply language settings. These are the default collation settings in the SQL Server. If you don't want this default collation settings, you can still change it by clicking on customize button. You can go to this option, whatever language you want to store in the database, Chinese language, okay, French language, Greek language, Japanese language, okay, and Korean language, right, Turkish language, Urdu language, whatever you want, you can, okay, you can select the language, guys. Generally we'll use English language, which is Latin, guys. Okay, Latin means English language only. I hope you know English comes from Latin. Okay, so SQL collation, let me cancel this. I don't want to customize the collation settings, but If the customer is asking for a different collation settings, this is how you have to select. Click on customize what collation settings they need. You have to simply select that particular collation settings. Collation settings means language settings, guys. What type of language, okay, you want to store the data in your particular SQL server. If you choose French language, the data should be in French. If you choose Chinese language, you can store the data in the form of Chinese language, right? Collation settings means language settings. So now I have a quick question, guys. Can I change this collation settings after the installation of SQL Server? Can I change the language settings after SQL Server installation?
Yeah, change. We change.
We can change it.
Yeah.
I have a quick question, okay? I just installed default instance. Can I change it to named instance after the installation? I just installed a default instance. Can I change it to named instance after the installation?
No.
I cannot change. Are you sure?
Yeah, probably.
So I cannot change a default instance to named instance into default instance, right? Right? So I cannot change the collation settings, right? After the installation, I cannot change it. So the answer is no, not possible, guys. I cannot change default instance to named instance or named instance to default instance. That is not possible. At the same time, collation settings also, we cannot change the collation settings after the installation of SQL Server. See, I'm installing the SQL Server now, right? So customer is asking, hey, please use a different collation settings. After installation, he came back to us. I don't want this collation settings. I need different collation settings. Okay, for that what you have to do, there is no direct way, guys. Indirect way is, again, you have to migrate the server with the new collation settings. That's it. But directly it is not possible to change. It's not a setting so that you can go and turn on, turn off, nothing like that, or you can change it. So after the installation, we cannot change the collation settings of the instance, guys. Okay, clear? Any issues, any doubts, any questions, guys, please? You're not asking any questions. I'm not sure whether you are able to understand the things or not. Please let me know if you have any questions. No questions? Everyone is good, guys? Okay, fine. Okay. Fine. Let me go to next. So this is also one more screen, very important screen, guys. After this screen, we can install the SQL Server. We can initiate the installation. So here you can see there are 4 tabs. First tab is server configuration. So what type of authentication you need for this instance? You can choose either Windows authentication or mixed mode authentication. I am going to explain the difference between Windows and mixed mode authentication during security concepts. As of now, you can choose any authentication, no issues. Generally, it will be mixed mode authentication in the organization. Can I change once if I install SQL Server with mixed Windows authentication? Can I change it to mixed mode later, right, guys? Is it possible? Or I just installed mixed mode. Can I change it to Windows authentication later? Guess it, guys. What is there? Yes or no, right?
No.
Yeah,
No,
possible.
So the answer is yes. Okay. Right? The answer is yes, guys. We can change the authentication mode at any time, but you need a restart. Okay, if you change an authentication from Windows to mixed to Windows, you have to restart the SQL Server. But it is possible, yes. We can change the authentication mode at any time. How you are going to connect this authentication mode will decide, guys. If you choose Windows authentication, using Windows credentials, you are going to connect to the SQL Server. If you choose mixed mode authentication, you have to give extra username and password to connect to the SQL Server. That is the only difference. Mixed mode means, Windows authentication means you can use, see, while connecting to this Windows server, I gave one credential, right, administrator and administrator password. Windows authentication means it is going to use the existing user account name and password to connect to the SQL Server. Mixed mode means you have to choose a separate account. You have to use a separate account to connect to the servers, guys. How you are going to connect? Okay, either Windows or SQL Server. Okay, you can choose this option. Based on this, you can connect to the SQL servers, guys. I'm sorry. So this portion will cover you how you can connect to the server, but this portion will let you know to whom you want to give access. Now you are installing one instance. Okay, so now you have to select to whom, which people can access, can connect to the SQL server. You have to give permissions initially. Later also you can give it, but at least one person you have to add. Then only that person can add other persons. Then only that person can give access to other people, other users. So at least you should add one user here. Click on add current user, so that it will create a login in the SQL server. So once you are able to log into the SQL server, now you can invite others by creating the user accounts and all. Okay, so here we have to select use current, add current user. Generally in the organization will select the whole DBA team. You are installing SQL server not only for you, the whole DBA team should connect. So we'll simply click on add button. We are going to give the DBA team name here, and we'll simply click OK. Then we can add the whole DBA team. This exercise is there during HADR activity. I'll show you how to add other people during the installation, guys. Currently I'm simply adding one user, so that this user is going to connect to the SQL server after installation. Clear? If you don't give any account, it won't allow you to go to next, guys. Let me remove this account. If I want to go next, it won't allow us. At least one account you should add. See here, missing system administrator account. To continue, provide at least one Windows account to provision as a SQL server system administrator. So you have to add at least one person here. Otherwise you cannot proceed. So I'm just adding my account so that I can connect after the installation. That doesn't mean as I'm installing the SQL server I'll have full rights on the SQL server. No, you have to add your account. While installing, you have to add your account. So then once you added the account in this screen, you will get extra privileges. You can do whatever you want in the SQL server, right? And let me get the connection. Guys, initially it is somewhat difficult, but just go through the recordings again. It will be very easy, guys. Installation is very easy as I'm explaining each and every point. So it might, okay, it might be somewhat difficult, okay, but generally it's very easy, guys. If you have any questions, you can ask me. So data directories, guys, as of now nothing to worry. All the files are going to be stored in C drive. So you can see I have only one drive, which is C drive. I don't have other drives. In the organization, generally we'll store the data files in a separate drive. We'll store the log files in a separate drive. Okay, we'll store the backup files in a separate drive. So imagine there is a separate drive for log files. Okay, imagine the drive letter is L drive, so you can select L here. You are storing the data in E drive, you can choose E here. You are storing the backups in X drive, you can choose X here. If you have multiple drives, you can choose like this. If you don't have multiple drives, if you have only one drive to store all the files in a drive, you can simply replace with the drive letter. I don't have other drives, guys. I have only one drive, C drive. D drive is not a fixed drive, it's just a CD drive. Okay, so I have only C drive, so that's why I want to store all the files in C drive only. This is tempdb configuration. Okay, so up to 2016 no need to configure tempdb during the installation, but from 2017 onwards you have to configure the tempdb during the installation itself. Nothing to do here. Okay, simply it will automatically pull the data, and based on that it will create the files, guys. Simply select the tempdb to see what and all things are there in the tempdb, but generally no action needed in this screen, guys. Okay, you can go to next. In case you want to store tempdb data files or log files in a separate location, you will change the tempdb log files to a separate location, guys. That's it. Otherwise we don't do anything in this screen. And finally, file stream, guys. File stream will help you to store the video content data like Netflix, Amazon Prime, AHA. Okay, what are the video, Disney, Hotstar, Disney. These are the video content data, right? So for storing video content data, we are going to use file stream, large objects data, okay? Like this space data, space related data, big pictures will be there with a lot of size. So that for that, you can use file stream. We don't use generally file stream. So no need to enable the file stream, guys. That's it. Done. Hardly 3-4 components you have to know, guys. One is service account, second one is authentication, third one is features, okay? What kind of features, shared features, specific features and all. So these are the main components, guys. Collation settings, remaining all are very simple. Now guys, whatever options we have selected, once you click on install, it will start installing the components. But it don't know, guys, whatever components we selected during the installation, it will prepare a query, okay? That query will be stored inside configuration file.ini. Once you click on install, this file will be called into the command prompt and it will start, okay, pulling the details, and it will keep restoring the installation. It will keep restoring, it will keep installing the SQL Server with the values we have provided here, okay? So the command will be stored in the configuration file.ini, guys, right? You can click install. That's it. It will take 10 to 15 minutes, depends upon the server speed, okay? If your server is slow, it might take 20 to 25 minutes also. That's it. This is how we'll install the SQL Server. Any questions, any doubts? Any questions, guys? Any questions, doubts? No problem. Don't hesitate, guys. You can ask the questions. No questions? Yes, please.
Now this is SQL Server 2017.
Correct.
This is one instance.
Correct.
Now if I am installing again SQL Server 2017,
Okay.
like second instance, in what way it can differ from this instance?
No, see, it is not going to differ anything. Simply, while installing, you cannot again install default instance, right? This is already a default instance. You cannot again default instance, right? You have to install a named instance. For example, you have installed one named instance. Now third time you want to install one more named instance.
Components which is selected, the features, like it now if I the shared features and instance features which is selected, if I change the features selection, will that become another instance?
No. See, here I'm going to install one more instance with the same features. Shared features now you are not going to install, but specific features for other instance. Yes. See, one instance I want to store this GPay application data. In another instance, I want to store PhonePe application data. One server I can use for one application, another server I can use for another application. Both are different, right? Both are doing the same work. GPay and PhonePe will help you to send the money, to transfer the money, to receive the money. If you want, you can store the data in the same instance itself, but I don't want like that. That is my instance, my separate private space. That is another instance, PhonePe's private space, so that I cannot access the PhonePe's data, or you cannot access my GPay data. Got the point? For other applications, if I want to install, so that I can go for another instance. It depends upon my requirements, guys. So again, next time you are installing one more copy, you are going to choose same features. Why? Because PhonePe for PhonePe I am using one SQL server. For GPay you are using another SQL server. That doesn't mean the features has to be differed.
Okay, so it decides on the purpose on what we
correct.
are
On what
for
purpose
what we
you
are
installing. Correct. Agree. Okay, on what purpose you are installing. So that's why if you are using multiple applications, you might need multiple instances. Okay, right. Any other questions? Next time if I want to install one more instance, this time I will choose only specific features. I don't want to choose shared features. Why? Shared features can be installed only one time per machine. Already it was installed during this installation. Currently those are installing. So next time, no need to choose shared features. Yes, it was installed. I told you, right? If another guy is coming to the PG, the PG owner is not going to buy extra washing machine or extra TV. That new guy also has to use the same existing shared features, right? Specific features. What are the specific features? If you ask me, in the same PG example, if you are staying in a PG, what are your specific things? What are your shared things? Washing machine, TV, Wi-Fi, shared things. Specific things means your mobile phone is your specific thing. Your personal laptop is your specific thing. Your particular clothes and all is your specific thing. So again, if another guy comes, he is also going to bring the same things, right? He will have his own mobile phone, he will have his own laptop, he will have his own clothes, correct? That doesn't mean you are having phone, you are having the laptop, he cannot bring another laptop, nothing like that. You will have your own features, he will have his own features. That is called specific features. Is it clear?
Can we add shared features or specific features after installation?
Yes, yes, very good question. See, now customer is asking only a standalone instance. After 1 year, he come back to us. Hey, can you please install SSIS integration services for the existing instance? Yes, you can add the features again. Next time you can add again features, either specific or shared features. Next time you can add it again, no problem. Or during the installation you forgot to install one feature, immediately you can add that feature again in the next installation.
Now that will not call as another instance.
No, that is adding the features. How can you can call it as another instance? Just adding the feature. Yes, any other questions? Is it clear now? Shravani?
Yes, yes, Shan.
Okay. Any other questions, guys? Okay. So after the installation of SQL Server, now server is installed. Now what I have to install, guys? Client. What is the client? SSMS Management Studio I have to install. So now I will install Management Studio after the installation of SQL Server. So client will install only once per machine. Using one client I can connect to multiple instances. So for each instance no need to install. That is also a shared feature. For each instance no need to install one more Management Studio. One Management Studio is enough. By using that Management Studio I can connect to multiple instances, guys. Okay, so after the installation of SQL Server I'll install SSMS. Then finally I'm going to connect to the SQL Server. I'll show you how to connect to the SQL Server and all. Then we'll close the sessions for today. Guys, take the break of 10 minutes and just come back again. Anyhow it will take 10 minutes to complete the installation, right? Take the break of 10 minutes and again you can come back, guys. We'll continue the session. Okay, yes, I'll be back in 10 minutes, guys.
ఎవరు పడుకోవాలి అంటే వచ్చే కదా ఈ వ్యవసాయం నువ్వేం వద్దు నీకేం మనవాడు వాళ్ళ పొప్పులు కూడా అప్పుడు అంటే చాలు అదే ఉడుకులే మనం ఒక జన్మ ఓకే మానవ జన్మ ఇచ్చినాం కానీ ఏం లాభం జీవితం ఇప్పుడు ఏడ మన పేజీలో ఉండవా ఆడ ఉండవా 3 సార్లు నీ పోతున్నాం ఏడన్నా ఇప్పుడు ఏడ ఉండవు ఏ స్పాట్లో ఉండవు వీటికి వచ్చినా మన పేజీలోకి వచ్చినావా నాకు పీజ్ చూడారా నాకు పీజ్ చూడ ఆమె సంసారం ఏంటి ఉంటుంది నా సంసారం మా సాయం మన మొక్కలు ఉంటే ఎవరో ఒక తోడవుతారు మామూలు లేం కాడలేము లేదే చేయనయ్యా కష్టపడాలా 2-3 ఏళ్ళు
మళ్ళా రెస్ట్ కావాలి ఇప్పుడు ఏదో
నేను చెప్పిన నీకే సపోర్ట్ చేస్తున్నాను
నేను కూడా ఆమెకే
చెప్పినా కానీ నువ్వేం చెప్పినా నేను నమ్మను రా సరస్వతి చెప్తే నమ్ముతాను మాట్లాడు ఇదే ఏం చేస్తావు చెప్తానే పోయి ఊరికి పోయి అన్నీ ఫ్రెండ్ కలర్ తెప్పించి గుడ్డలు తెల్లగొండలు ఉన్నాయి కలర్ తెప్పించండు అబ్బా మన
Right, okay guys. Okay, so you can see here what it is saying, guys. One or more affected files have operations pending. You must restart your computer after the, what is this, after the setup process is completed. Okay, so it is saying please restart the computer after the SQL Server installation. It is saying, okay, computer restart required. You can see here computer restart required. So guys, before and after installation of SQL Server, before and after installation of SQL Server, you have to restart the SQL Server, guys. Okay, before and after installation, you have to restart the SQL Server. Okay, so it's very important. After this we have to install SSMS, right? So if you don't restart it, you cannot again, okay, install the SSMS, so it will create problems. So better you have to restart the Windows server, then we can proceed to install the SQL Server, guys. Okay, let's restart it and click OK. Once you can see here, once you just clicked OK, you can see here all are green checks. Okay, you can see here your SQL Server 2017 installation completed successfully with the product updates, it is saying. Okay, make sure all the components are successfully installed. Sometimes some components will be failed to install. In that case, you have to check the errors by using this summary file. This is the summary file, guys. By using the summary file, you can click on this file. You can see which components are not installed, why they are not installed. As of now there are no issues, right? Everything is successful, so you don't see any errors here. Everything is passed means successfully installed. All the components are successfully installed. If any component is failed, then you can see why the component is failed to install. You can see the errors in this file, and based on the errors you can find out the reason in the Google, or if you have an idea you can fix it and you can start installing those particular components. Again, no need to install the whole SQL Server, guys, until and unless if database engine services is failed. Database engine services is failed, you have to install complete SQL Server again. If database engine services is succeeded and other components are failed, you have to install only the failed components next time, guys. Okay, you can see the output, install successful. Okay, close it, guys. Then what we have to do now, we have to restart the server. Okay, let's restart the server. You can click on this Windows button, power button, restart button. Select this, other planned is fine, or maintenance, application maintenance planned is fine. Okay, now it is restarting, guys. Once the restart is done, okay, you can see some of the other applications are opened. You can click on restart anyway. Not your laptop, only server we have to restart. Okay, so you can see the status here. Sorry. Right, okay, the machine is restarted. Now we can connect to this machine again remotely. Okay, so 1.12, right, the same IP address. So guys, listen carefully. Sometimes if you change your internet, sometimes, okay, usually we are going to connect to the Wi-Fi, home Wi-Fi, and we'll practice it, right? So we'll connect to the server remotely and we'll practice it. Sometimes if you go to some other place, you are going to use your mobile hotspot instead of Wi-Fi, or if there is no power, you will use mobile hotspot. Once you change the internet, automatically the IP address of the VM will be changed, guys. That's why every time you have to log into the machine, you have to check whether IP address is changed or not. Generally, as I connected to the same Wi-Fi, so IP address won't be changed, guys. I'm still connecting with the same IP address. Okay, so let me click yes. Now I just restarted the machine. Now I can proceed to install SSMS, guys. Earlier, this client SSMS up to SQL Server 2014, SSMS is inbuilt with the SQL Server software. So it will be there in the shared features, guys. In the shared features, there is one more shared feature called management tools. If you select that management tools, automatically SSMS will be installed up to SQL Server 2014. From 2016 onwards, Microsoft separated the management studio. Okay, Microsoft separated the management studio from 2016 onwards. So again, after the installation of SQL Server, again you have to install the management studio separately from 2016 onwards. Guys, I just installed 2017 SQL Server. So if you ask me, sir, is there any difference between 2016 SQL Server installation, 2017 SQL Server installation, 2019? No. The same option, same control, same screen, everything is same. Might be one or two extra features you can see, okay, but the installation is same for almost all the versions, guys. If you know how to install SQL 2016, you can easily install 2017, 2019, you can easily install, guys. Same, might be the interface can be changed a little bit, but the process is same. So installation of 2017, 2019, same as it is, guys. Okay, even 2016 also the same process we are going to follow. Now I am going to install SSMS. How to install SSMS? Two ways. I can download it into my local laptop and I can copy the SSMS to the server. In general, in the organization, I told you, right, all the softwares we are going to copy it from the shared location. In our local laptop, what I am going to do, I'll download the SSMS, okay, and then what I am going to do, I am going to copy the files directly from my local laptop to the virtual machine. Just right click copy, right click paste. Google how to download latest version of SSMS. Type download. You can see here download SQL Server Management Studio. Just type it. You can see the first website docs.microsoft.com, guys. Whenever you are opening any websites, make sure those are okay relevant websites, not from third-party websites and all. This is a Microsoft site. You can see here microsoft.com, so you can rely on this. Okay, no, nothing to worry. So but sometimes people are going to download it from other websites and all, which are not secured websites, so it might carry some virus. And also, again, while opening the web pages or websites, make sure the page is a secured page or not. Okay, how to check whether it is secured page or not? HTTPS means secured page, and make sure it is from the same vendor. Let me open this in the another window. Now you can see, right, so this is the option. You can see free download for management studio. This is free, guys, no need to pay anything. This is a client, you can download it like this. Okay, the install the download will start. Okay, so once you click on this link, nothing, no extra controls you will get. The download will start, guys, immediately. It's around 677 MB is there. Okay, so once the file is downloaded, you can copy the files and you can paste it in the management sorry, Windows server, guys. Okay, so let's complete. Once it is done, I'm going to copy paste it, guys. Just a minute, guys. Right, okay. So now I just downloaded the file, guys. You can see here, this is my setup file. Okay, I just downloaded. Okay, download is completed, you guys. Right click, what you can do is you can copy, you know, right, how to copy paste. Okay, just copy, or you can use Control C, Control V. Go to the server, just paste it, guys. Installation of SSMS is very easy. Just simply you have to click on install button. That's it. Only one control, that is install. You have to click on install button. Automatically SSMS will be installed. There is no extra options and all. Nothing to discuss like SQL Server installation. Just a button called install button. You have to like click on that install button. Automatically it will be installed, guys. It was disconnected, guys, because of some issues. So again the down, like the copy process will be cancelled. Okay, again I have to copy paste it. So now you can see here unspecified error. Now let me copy paste it again, so that again it will start copying. So generally you don't face this issue. Why? Because I am using Airtel internet. Some packets are dropping in the middle, so that's why server connection is getting okay, like disturbed. The server, the remote connection is disturbed during this practice, guys. For you, don't face such kind of issues. In case if it was there, you can still connect, guys. No issues. Immediately it will be connected automatically. It is taking a lot of time to copy. If it is disconnected again, I have to copy it again. Otherwise, I have to go for another alternative. Right. So it was copied, guys. So now what we can do, we can start installing this SSMS. Right click, simply right, run as administrator. You will get this screen. That install button you will get. Okay, just click on install. Now you can see, right, install button, Microsoft SQL Server Management Studio. Okay, just click on install button. That's it. This is how we'll install SSMS, guys. It will take 15 minutes like that, guys, to complete the installation of SSMS. So if you have any questions in the meantime, you can ask me. Otherwise, we can wait and watch for the installation of SSMS. Once done, I'll show you how to connect to the instance. Then we are going to disconnect for today, and next week again we'll connect. Saturday morning, 7 a.m. IST, okay, or 9:30 p.m. Friday evening, 9:30 p.m. EST, okay. So let's wait for 10 to 15 minutes, then we'll complete the session. Why it is taking this much time to install SSMS? It is taking more than SQL Server installation. This is what generally happens, guys, when if you don't have enough RAM, okay, right? Generally it will take a lot of time to install. Let's see what is the RAM usage, CPU usage and all. If any other processes are there, we'll kill those processes, okay? But in the organization, don't kill any process, okay? No need to kill. In our local practice, local laptop, we can kill the sessions, okay? Okay, let me go to more details. No, CPU and memory usage is normal. It's okay. Let's complete once done. We'll see. It might take 10 more minutes, guys. Let's wait for 10 more minutes, and then once installation is done, we'll connect to the servers. Then we'll end the session for today, guys. It's almost going to be installed. Okay, so it will be completed in 2 minutes, guys. So one more important update. So by next meeting, okay, by next Friday, Saturday, this meeting link is going to be changed, guys. Okay, this meeting link won't work. I'm going to provide you the new meeting link. Those who confirmed by tomorrow, then you will receive a separate meeting link, guys. So you have to use that meeting link from next Saturday onwards. This meeting link won't work. Okay, I don't send this meeting link to everyone. Those who confirmed by tomorrow, then I am going to share you the new meeting link, guys. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, fine, guys. Let's wait for 2 more minutes. We'll complete this and then we can disconnect. Okay, it's almost done. Okay, so it is asking for restart. Let's do a quick restart, then we'll show you. We'll connect to the server. Okay, and then the session will be completed, guys. Just 2 minutes. Okay, don't take much time, just 2 minutes. Yeah, now it is restarting. Right, okay. Let me connect to the server remotely. So connect. Yes. Right. So now you can open SSMS, guys. How to open SSMS? Click on the start button. This is setup file. You cannot open. This is just a setup file. Downloaded file, guys. You cannot open this one. Again, it will ask you to uninstall and reinstall again. You cannot open. This is just a setup file, guys. Once the installation is done, you have to open SSMS directly, not by using this file. This I just downloaded and copied, right? If you click on the same file again, it will ask you to uninstall, okay, and again reinstall. Don't do that. Just click on this Windows button and type SS, just SS, guys. Then you can see SQL Server Management Studio like this. Just open this Management Studio, and then it will ask you to give the server name. You have to provide the server name. So once you provided the server name, then it will be connected to the SQL Server, guys. So in the next class, I will explain about the SQL Server. We'll also discuss how to create databases, how to create tables, how to search the data, how to filter the data, and then we'll discuss about the database internal architecture, and then we'll start discussing about the system databases, and then we'll discuss other topics like after the system database we'll discuss about the patching, SQL Server patching, okay, and then once patching is done, we are going to start discussing security, creating logins, giving permissions and all, okay. So next week I'm going to cover those topics, guys. Generally it won't take this much time, guys. It hardly it will take 2 minutes, 3 minutes. Okay. To install management studio, it might take 5 to 10 minutes. It took a lot of time today because of some server performance. Okay, so sorry for that. It was almost 9:45. Just 1 minute. Once SSMS is opened, I'll connect to the server and then you can disconnect. Okay, please don't mind. Right, okay, so now you can see SSMS is opened, guys. Now you can see you will get one more pop-up. So this is the server screen. Okay, you can see the server name is, this is the computer name. So I don't know how many of you remember this name. So this is the computer name, host name, guys. So let's choose Windows authentication for now. Later I'll tell you the SQL authentication and all in the security classes. Make sure you are connecting to the database engine, not analysis, reporting, integration and all. If you connect to other analysis services, reporting services, you can choose this, but as a DBA we are going to connect to the database engine, guys. Click connect. That's it. In this way we are going to connect to the SQL servers, guys. Okay, in this way we can connect to the SQL servers. Once you connected, you can see the instance here. You can see all other components, okay, below to the instance name, guys. So that's it. Okay, so if you have any questions you can ask me, otherwise we are going to disconnect now. Again, the class will be on next Saturday 7 a.m. IST. For US people it is Friday night 9:30 p.m. EST. Okay, 9:30 p.m. EST. Okay, fine, guys. Any questions, any doubts, please? Any questions, any doubts? No questions? Okay, that's fine, guys. That's it for today. Again, the meeting link is going to be changed. Okay, I'll update you the new meeting link and all. Just confirm me by tomorrow. Thank you, guys. Thank you all. Good night.